law firm. And so in the past, I know that I had some concerns after the initial meeting when we decided to hire the manager, when a resident brought up that she was concerned with a relationship that the manager and the council person had. And so I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and I did have a couple of discussions with the manager in regards to that, just to make sure that, it was not a personal relationship. And after finding this out on February 27th, I felt that it was something that needed to be brought up to the full committee, because I didn't think it would be right for me to keep that information to myself and move forward with the contract. And so I just wanted to explain to the committee why it is that I pulled the contract, and why it is that I put that on the agenda today. And I don't know if the village manager wants to say anything.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you for the opportunity. I've stated this a number of times. I live in this community. I patronize the businesses here. I'm civically engaged, involved. I am a lawyer, and I knew Councilmember Mathis he's in the legal field as well as politics, and I met him when I worked for the county as the policy director for Commissioner Audrey Edmondson. And from there, years later, I wanted to open up my own law practice. At that time, Councilmember Mathis was incorporating businesses for a fee, and I asked him to do mine, and he did, and he was the registered agent for it. Years passed, and I really never changed my registration or my SunBiz information. I just pay the fee and update it, and we move on. So when I started working here almost 7 months ago, I didn't think about that he was my registered agent for my law practice. But when you brought it to my attention, Councilmember Roman, I changed it immediately. And I do have the proof that it has been changed. It's an easy thing to do. And, there was no deception I wasn't trying to conceal it. I mean, that's a public thing. It had merely slipped my mind. And I'm glad it was caught, because there's no reason to keep him on as considering our new working relationship. So that has been changed, and I hope that you will see that. I've done very good work for the village in these months as interim village manager. I've also demonstrated professionalism, fairness, and friendliness to everyone on this dais, all of the staff as well as the residents. Councilmember Mathis doesn't get any special treatment because of our relationship. He's been helpful. We know each other in a civic way, and that has spilled over in some social settings, as it has with the mayor. When I needed child care for after school and in summer camp, I used Miss Claudia's Village Academy. I go to church, and you go to the same church with me, Councilmember. So because it's a small community, we're going to know each other outside of these four walls, and I hope that my remedying the situation and being very transparent will allay your fears, and you can see the good work I'm willing and want to do for the village.
Thank you. So I do agree that it is a small community. It just so happened that I learned that, just as an example, that our interim attorney, attended a retreat with my husband, and they know each other. They met each other. They're acquaintances. So yeah, it is a small community. However, there's a difference between a personal relationship, friendship, and acquaintances. And I think that that's where my concern was raised. Had this been brought up by the village manager or by our council person, then perhaps, we wouldn't be sitting here discussing this. So I just like to maybe hear from the committee. And
Yeah, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could see both sides of arguments. I mean, this is a small community. I understand. I guess you feel like it should have been disclosed like much sooner, which I can see that also. The only thing I have to say for myself is, for me personally, I look at the work that's been done, and I just know that for all of these months, everybody up here was saying like how good of a employee she was. I know that even, and this is coming from me, because when we went to make her from interim to manager, I was the only one that voted no. Like everybody else went straight from interim to manager. You guys didn't even put out for contracts. I was the only one that voted no and wanted to be put out for contracts. So apparently everybody, even more than me, thought that she was doing a wonderful job up here. So I think I don't see how that's changed as of right now. I don't know.
Mayor, is there anything that?
A couple of things. I think the manager and the chair said a couple of things that I'm going to touch on, and that is there is a really big difference between being community and having a friendship. There is. And I think that because we're a small community and all eyes are always on us from the residents, I think this is a really good time to truly just disclose where we're at. Because while the clerk kids currently go to my school, and while the manager's child used to go to my school, and the clerk will tell you and the manager will tell you, her child went to my school for years, we never hung out. No. We were never friends. Like, I never even saw her. Like, and Christia's child went to my school. We were never friends. We were friendly and social, and I hung out with you only when I was invited. We were never friends. We just knew each other. There's a big difference between being friends and being acquaintances, or, you know, you have a business and you provide a service and so on and so forth, and you all pay a fee for the service. And this is my concern, because we all know that those are those residents that call us because they want to know what happened, and I'm so surprised they're not here tonight. I need full transparency. And, you know, a lot of people can say, and a lot of people do say, that Harold and I are friends, because we are. We've become friends in the 9 years I've been here. And we've done a lot of things together. What I need in terms of total disclosure, and I think what the residents need, is that this can't be, I don't, part of me doesn't believe that you were hiding it or anything. I do believe it needed to be disclosed. The one thing I'm probably uncomfortable with when I was told this is that when the manager mentioned it to me, what had happened, I think she renewed it the same day. I think the chair actually went to her, and that's really unfortunate. It would have been great if you would have renewed it and changed it. But I think there needs to be a transparency and honesty, and to dismiss the relationship like it's anything. It shouldn't be, because there is a friendship there, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it needs to be sincere, because it really, I think that that's really important, that as a committee, as a council, the way we go forward, if this is going to become permanent, like, there needs to be, you need to come here and tell the committee, and maybe at the time recuse yourself from the vote. I think that would set well with the residents, just because we were all here when this came to full council. There was a lot of resistance from the residents, and an effort to have that, like the chair said, it would have been helpful if maybe, somebody would have disclosed it. And I think and unfortunately, Councilperson Mathis was here, I think the onus falls on the elected as opposed to the manager to having to really, disclose who you have ties with, and we know that. But I'm one who's really busy and understand we forget things. But, there just needs to be that, because I think that's important. It can't be,